Good morning, my friends. It's Alphinius Goo. And yes, we already did this, but it's okay. We're doing it again. This is so cameramen can pretend like we are professional. Now she's going to walk across in front of the camera because my TV isn't on. Yes, this morning. So
I'm
here's...
busy getting your coffee.
Yes, I appreciate that, my dear. You're marvelous.
I put 4 ice cubes in the coffee.
So it's not 2.
Right.
Yes. I do not like super hot coffee. Now my mother was the opposite. She would take coffee out of a coffee pot, put it in the microwave. It's really weird. Anyway, but listen, here's the deal. So this morning, I got up very early with the intention of doing a little slideshow for the Terror in Genzacon. And I got up, went to the restroom, kind of washed my face a little bit, and then I thought, you know what, I'll just take and I never wake up late. This is the truth. I typically sleep about 6 hours a night. That's me. And I'd already had about 7 hours. And I was like, oh, I'm still sleepy. Maybe I'll just go lay down for just a few more minutes. It was 6:30 in the morning. So I went and lay back down. Ms. Goo had awakened at that time. And I said, hello, Ms. Goo. And she said, hello. And then she got up and went to go have breakfast and take care of Baloo the dog and all that stuff. And I put my head back down. And as I was laying there, I started pondering some wonderful things that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. And then I fell asleep.
You lulled yourself back to sleep.
I did. And the next thing I know, I hear the door open and it woke me up. And Ms. Goo is standing there and she goes, don't you have to go? And I said, what time is it? She goes, it's 9:30. And I went, my God, it's 9:30. I jumped out of bed and I went around the corner. It was not 9:30. It was 9:38, Camera Mandy. 9:38. The first, and this is one of the few mornings that Camera Mandy has not called me on the phone to say, hey, are you coming? Everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, but I got gaslit really hardcore because like the first
You
thing
got gas?
Gaslit.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
That's when you called me and you're like, Mandy, why is this the one morning you didn't even call me to wake me up?
I blamed Camera Mandy for my oversleeping.
Anyway.
So I jumped out of bed. I washed my face again and brushed my teeth real fast and put on my Alphinius clothes. No deodorant, Camera Mandy.
That's fine. You're funky. Across the room. It's all good.
and then I jumped in the car. Dear Camera Mandy made me a cup of coffee. And Ms. Goo laughed at me as I walked out the door.
I mean, it's fair. It was a fair laugh. So
I always hate the TV is always backwards because I always reach to the wrong side. Sorry, I'm showing a little bit of my undershirt right there.
Oh,
anyway,
scandal.
So listen. I want to test some things because I'm really, really excited. Okay.
I grabbed some stuff off the den for Terror in Genzacon.
Oh, did you?
So we can talk about
We'll talk about that later. I want to talk about other things first.
Yes.
Now listen, first and foremost, Gen Con is going to be magnificent. I mean, we've got the multi-track experiences that are going on. Obviously, we've got Who Done It, right? Well,
I figured out. So last night, I went up to Denver with my best friend.
You should show yourself when you're talking, Cameraman. People like to see your face.
Okay, so last night I went up to Denver with my friend Dory, and there's been I kind of had the structure of Who Done It written, but there was 2 little spots that I was really hung up on trying to figure out. And do any of you guys just have that friend that you can just collaborate with, and your minds are you mind meld with them? I'm gonna tell. Here's the deal.
Hold on a second, Camera Mandy.
Since we don't have
you are one of the people that I collaborate with, but I never mind meld with you. That would be dangerous.
That is not true. On video stuff, we are very solid.
Very good. Yes, I agree.
But with that,
all right, keep going.
I'm gonna tell the chat something funny. Since we're having kind of a loosey goosey morning, anyways.
Sorry.
So, what people may not know about me is I once wrote an incredibly popular Twilight fan fiction.
No, I want you. Can I just say this so you don't have to boast about yourself? I want you to know this. Camera Mandy had I think it was 10,000.
Over a million, over several million views.
Several million views and 10,000, 15,000 fans, right? It was something crazy.
I got to go speak at a panel at San Diego Comic-Con in my early 20s. This is when I was 22. I got to go see.
She was a fanfic queen.
I'm just saying, for Twilight of all things. Okay. Anyway, Dory helped me. She was my beta. That's what we call our editors in fan fiction. And Dory was the person who helped me with this story. Anyway, last night we're driving and we just had those moments again of just mind melding. And Dory is now an amazing GM. She's brought in.
Dory's wonderful.
Yeah, from Gooey Cube. We all started playing together Dungeons and Dragons because we wanted to understand what Gooey Cube was going to be about.
Yes, I was the instigator.
Yes, it is true.
Camera Mandy used to
What?
poo-poo Dungeons and Dragons. Tell
I
the
did
truth,
not
Camera
poo-poo.
Mandy.
I just knew that if I ever got really into it, it was going to be like,
Fun.
yes, fun, but like all consuming.
Fun
like,
and all-consuming. So
like,
that's all of us who are on this chat right now.
Anyway.
Everybody who's watching, tell the truth, chat.
What?
It's a pretty consuming, fun thing.
Well,
Yes.
it's literally my job now.
Well, and it's also a wonderful,
Yeah.
what a wonderful distraction
Uh-huh.
to go and enjoy your friends, to eat and drink and be merry and kill monsters and be heroes and leave the world for a bit. You have to go back. Hold on a second. I want you to finish about Dory.
No, that was all. Was
so
just saying that
Dory-
you helped me write.
So you have
whodunit.
a secret now. There's the whodunit is rounded out.
I now have the entire story and exactly how whodunit is going to unfold. Basically,
Yes.
I just have to finish writing all the little clues, and yeah. So
Listen, if you haven't signed up for whodunit, you better do it because
it's too late.
it's
They're all
already sold out?
It's sold out. Now, with that said, here's the deal: if you are a gooey person and you come to the gooey room either for casino night or whodunit, because these are two events that are replacing our big gooey party.
we're still going to be partying.
You will be admitted into the room and potentially could take a spot of someone who does not, who didn't get a ticket, or who
So,
doesn't
some
show
people
up.
get a ticket and don't show.
Up. Yeah, so you can
So,
take that
yes.
spot potentially, or if you just want to, you can literally, we'll have seats all along the room. You can just come enjoy the ambiance. We're gonna have a bar both nights. So that's Friday night Thursday night and Saturday night. We'll have a
Yes.
bar in the room. It's a cash bar. But you can
We've
just,
hired the band from Star Wars, the Katina band,
no,
Katana band,
that's not true.
Katina band.
We don't have that in our
Dun,
budget.
dun, 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 dun.
We have it in our budget to hire like a 12-year-old with a can drum. So, but yeah,
We'll bring Theo.
yeah, exactly.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, so you are more than welcome to come hang out in the room if you're a Gooey Cube person and just enjoy, even if you don't have a ticket. So
Yes.
yeah,
So we got that. We got all that stuff. We have all these experiences, right,
Uh-huh.
Camera Medi? And then we have this wonderful, wonderful thing called the Gooey Game Show, which is
no
now
one's ever heard of before.
which now is how many tickets? 400 and something?
We're over 400 tickets sold, and we haven't even started our advertising. I mean, we
Yeah.
got to, because we're like 2 weeks out basically. So we have got to finish our advertising and get it running. But yeah, we haven't even started. Like, that's just 400 tickets sold just through people finding us through the catalog.
Yes.
So that's pretty phenomenal.
Yes, and lots of people don't buy their tickets, right? And lots of people get those drop-in tickets and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it's going to be fantastic. So I'm so excited for Gen Con. Obviously, it looks like we're going to be bringing some Darkenhaven boxes to sell at Gen Con, which is really exciting. And for all of you who are saying, "Where's my damn Darkenhaven box?" Guess what? We are really close. We are going to do our best to ship those
While we're at Gen Con.
while we're at Gen Con.
Not all of them. I mean, because it's like over 300 boxes. we
Yes,
have to ship.
300. of
But we're
them.
going to at least start on the
Yes,
process
we're gonna
of
start
trying
on the
to get
process
everything
of
out.
shipping them. Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna make enough to ship and to take to Gen Con. So
Yep.
we're not what do you call it, Camera Mandy? Waiting Gen Con over our people, right?
Yes.
It's just the timing of shipping. So Mel is going to work on this with our team while we're out there, and start getting Darkenhaven shipped out to people. Now, my wonderful international backers, we might not be able to do this. We're going to try. We're going to look at this and see if we can get this off to some of our international backers. I'm blown away by it. I cannot tell you. I have been looking at it. Thank you to all of the wonderful, wonderful fans and friends out there who reviewed stuff and gave us little comments and things, right?
Yeah, let's
And-
talk about this, since this is one of the things that we actually
Cut back
talk about.
yourself, Camera Mandy. If we had a director,
I don't like being on camera.
just
so-
stop, Camera Mandy.
Okay.
People like you much better than me.
Oh
Look
my
at this
God.
face compared to yours.
Yeah,
Oh, yours. Sorry.
Okay, anyway. Okay, here's my question. So we're going to be dropping another digital, like an updated digital with all
Yes.
of the corrections that we
Monday.
had, and bookmarks. Very exciting. We're adding in
Yes.
bookmarks.
Andy, if you're watching, Andy,
Andy is
this is
lovely.
not the perfect solution. It's not, what the reason why we have avoided doing this is because the real way to do this is this thing called paragraph styles, and it's very involved, and it takes hours and hours to do it. But there is another solution called bookmarks that is pretty good, and it will definitely enable folks to be able to get there. And it won't, in Darken Haven, it'll probably take us, I don't know, maybe at most a day to put in all the bookmarks for Darken Haven. But other other materials will take less time. So this is actually something that's going to work, and we're excited about it. And it will get at least a goodly way of the way there with these bookmarks that we're doing in InDesign. So Cameramendi,
Yes.
Is that not exciting?
It is very exciting.
And is it not huge, Cameramendi? Huge.
Well, sorry, I didn't know what you were saying.
Cameramendi, you're so dirty. Dirty.
I wasn't
She's
thinking
speechless.
that, but now I am.
She's speechless right now.
I was just reorienting my brain around the question.
Chat is going nuts right now.
Oh,
I know
no,
it.
they're not. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. I was pulling up Facebook.
Oh,
So,
good. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yes. Okay, but second off, it is over, like, I gotta think it's like closer to 11 pounds.
It's closer to 11 pounds.
And then,
And Jesus just did these, the 70 floor plans, which we only promised 50, I believe.
yeah, that was
70
pretty, that was pretty crazy.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, they
yeah.
are very gorgeous.
Stunning.
So so this is my question now. So what is dropping new aside from the changes and aside from the bookmarks? Is the player's guide done? Are
Yes.
the floor maps done?
So all the floor plans are done. Those
Okay.
will drop when we put this new thing together.
Uh-huh.
And we will be sending an email when it does. It'll probably be towards the end of the day on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we have made this marvelous visitor's guide, player's primer to Darken Haven, right? And this wonderful little adventure. And so it's spectacular. Carrie did a wonderful job on Fear, the Deepest Fear, which is a little side adventure, that goes with Darken Haven. And neither of those actually will fit in the box. So they're not going to be in the box. But that's okay, because our plan was to sell the primer separately anyway, kind of like we did with the primer for Zyathé.
Oh my God, guys, listen, here's the deal. We are about to raise the price on Darken Haven. I'm sure everyone who's in the chat has actually bought Darken Haven at this point.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, the price raise is coming in like the next week, but it's still available for, I think, $120
$120
on the website,
including shipping, and 100 and something.
With all of this stuff. So anyway, it's going to be marvelous.
Yeah, it's going to be at least $150.
Now, where
right?
are we at with dropping digitals for, like, I believe we're in the process of still closing out and locking down orders on backer kit.
Yeah, I think that it will close here. It was 48 hours, so it's very, very soon to the orders actually being locked.
And so once that closes and everyone's payments are processed, we'll
start dropping digitals for things that people ordered that they actually that we have pre-produced. Does that make sense, Cameramendi stuff? So if someone got the book bundle,
mm-hmm.
right, but they also got all this stuff from we're going to be making new. I got to talk. Don't let me forget. The reason why I'm excited about this, I got other things I got to tell. Goodness gracious, I keep forgetting. Anyway, so they get.
No idea what you're talking
they
about.
They'll get the digitals for all those materials, all four of our lore books, right?
Yes.
And then they after that, of course, we'll get the physicals when we ship in the first part of the year. Now we have an idea that maybe we can do an interim shipment, but because of the costs of some of these things, we're going to have to ask people to throw us a little bit of money for doing that. So we're going to send out an email to all the people who ordered stuff and ask them if they did that. And in many cases, we already charge shipping, so we think we can do it. So Lawrence has this. Yeah, Lawrence has this.
Basically, let's just put it this way: there is a big potential that we could end up shipping all the stuff that's already been produced.
Correct.
Not immediately,
soon,
but very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then once Guys and Gags gets released, you'd get just all the Guys and Gags stuff. So if you had a huge backer kit order of all the stuff that we already have, like Decks of Perilous Fortuity and all the adventures
and Luke's things, right? Luke's dice and those kinds of things.
So we just have to look at the logistics of that and see if it's.
I think it is though.
Yeah,
that's what if in certain circumstances we might have to reach out.
But if nothing else, you'll get the digital downloads right away.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, we could release the digital downloads for the first of the Ghost Stone.
Yes.
Which would be very interesting. Okay, you want to do social media, or did you have other things that you
So
want to
that's
talk about?
what I want to talk about. So we have confirmed, Cameramendi, that we are getting Marvelous Luke and his family and Bushra and the kids all coming out. I believe it is, what did I say? The 9th of July.
Genzacon, yeah.
Or excuse me, the 9th of August.
Mm-hmm.
And so Luke is going to be on Goo Morning Zyathé on the 10th, right? And join us actually in studio. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And Ms. Goo and Bushra are going to actually go to a spa.
That's
How
never been
fun.
happened before in the history of the
Yes.
world. The way that you just said that. A spa.
A spa.
One of those elusive things that have
It's
never
like a
been used
unicorn.
before. Yeah.
So they have a plan to do that, and we're going to take them out and have some fun. But Luke also said if the Gooey folks are interested, he'd love to play a game with us on Sunday.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, so I got kind of excited about that. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. So
Okay.
so we're going to do something on Sunday, and we need to invite some of the Gooey folks and have some fun. So that's wonderful. We've been having wonderful talks with marvelous Ed Greenwood and his dear friend Ivan. And Ivan is magnificent. Ivan has been helping Ed a lot, and I'm really proud to know Ivan and excited to work with him as we go forward. And Ed, and it does very much look like we are going to have a special thing next year, 2024, 2025, in the fall that we will do with Ed. And so very similar to what we did with Luke, and we are very excited about it. And I cannot tell you, as many of you have heard me say many times, Ed is my personal hero. I believe that Ed's creations of the Forgotten Realms absolutely changed the complexion of Dungeons and Dragons massively.
Okay.
Massively.
So I am going to be running one thing.
Show yourself, cameraman.
Okay.
I'm going to start directing.
I know. Okay. So I'm running Dark Tides Night like Sunday at
Yes.
Gen Con just to fill in for something. Anyway, I started reading. I was prepping for it, and there's actually this section of Dark Tides Night that you actually dedicate to a load of people you ended up working with. There's Ed Greenwood. I mean, I can't even think off the top of my head, but I was looking at the list, and I thought, wow, that is amazing that so many people that you listed in this dedication all these years ago, you ended up working with on the Guys and Gax.
I can't tell you. I mean, they are, people don't understand, if you aren't old like me, right? If you're sort of new to the game, you don't know the history of it, and literally TSR almost going out of business, and Peter saving them, and the only reason Peter could save them was because of the success of Magic the Gathering, right? The card game that he put together, and the wonderful adventures that we had with these often very poorly produced materials, and the magnificent Judges Guild that published all kinds of things from alternative authors that were not part of the TSR crew and all of that stuff. And then all of a sudden, somewhere around 1980, this supplement comes out from TSR called Waterdeep in the North. And what I understand happened in that time was that in the Dragon magazine, if you got the Dragon magazine regularly, you would see these articles from a guy named Ed Greenwood. And they were wonderful. All of this stuff about this world that he called the Forgotten Realms. And I guess at the time, timing is everything, right, Cameraman? So Ed reaches out, or sorry, not Ed reaches out, the TSR people reach out to Ed because they want to know if this world is fleshed out, because they are looking for a new world. They want to launch a new world in TSR. They don't want to just stay with Greyhawk. So they reach out to Ed, and lo and behold, Ed has 3 massive or 4 massive binders, because in those days there were no, right, cameraman? I mean, in those days we were word processing existed, but not by much, right? It was computers were hugely expensive. People were typing on typewriters, all of that stuff. They had all these huge binders filled with all this lore of the Forgotten Realms. And lo and behold, he had this wonderful city that he had done this huge map of, and all the paid places and all that stuff called Waterdeep. And lo and behold, Ed Greenwood becomes a part of their marvelous organization, and the Forgotten Realms is launched, and the complexion and trajectory of D&D is changed because the Forgotten Realms was so magnificent and marvelous for its time, still is to this day. So that is the tale that I understand. Anyway, we're going to get to work with Ed, and we're going to work with Ivan, and we're going to have some real fun doing something very special, which we've already begun talking about, but more will come after we get done with the Guys and Gags project. So that's the most important thing right now, except for, of course, the Gloomport.
Goodness.
Okay. Kevin's been putting in a lot of time on that. We are pushing that forward as well.
Okay. Well.
Now I give a big
First
update.
off, I really enjoyed that history dump. That was really interesting.
I hope so. Listen, I got a lot of that kind of crap if the chat likes it.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I mean, since if you're like newer or younger, like you don't know all of this history, you just play the game. And
well, the depth of this, Cameraman, the depth of this Forgotten Realms world really changed because up until that time, there really wasn't a deep world with lots of pervasive lore and all of this stuff, like what we're trying to do, very similar to what we're trying to do, and others have done that since the Forgotten Realms was launched. So we obviously want to make an entertaining world for game masters, and that is what, and players too, of course. And that is what the lore really helps do, especially if you've written it hopefully well and interesting to read. So it's not like reading a dry history book, right? So that's the goal of making a great world, is making one that is interesting and enjoyable for especially game masters to read. I've read many books from people that I never was even going to run their campaign. Like I loved Dark Sun. Dark Sun was magnificent, and I read it cover to cover, the whole box right next to my bed, just as nighttime reading. Even though I never really intended to run Dark Sun, but man, what a wonderful idea and concept.
Harry says, when I started, we didn't have paper. We had to scratch our stats into the dirt with a stick.
I remember that, Harry.
Yes.
Yes, you and I. Yes, and that was also where when we had combat, we didn't actually roll dice. We beat each other with clubs.
Okay. Now, I'm going to do social media.
Okay, let's do it.
Because there's something I have to talk about.
All right, Cameraman.
Okay. Let me start. First off, I'm going to start with just a couple things. First off, I have finished the 5 videos that we're doing for Genzacon that go over the 5 really big modules that we're running. So like The Truth Lies Cold, Dark Tides Night, Darkness and Genzacon.
And they are very good.
Shades of Loss and The Truth Lies Cold.
Very good.
Yeah. So Carrie and Charles came down, and the videos are great. Even if you're not going to be running this at a convention, there are a few points where they talk about fitting this modules into a 4-hour period. But other than that,
no,
it just goes through the story. It gives you if you just watch it in the background, if you're about to run one of these, it just gives you enough information to get you started. It's totally spoiler heavy. Anyway, please check out those videos. The guys did a great job breaking it down with Alphinius and really talking about the story of each of these. And you can kind of start to see how different all the modules are and the story of them. So, yes.
Very fun.
Very good.
Very good.
Although the one
very instructional.
The one for Dark Tides Night got a little slap happy.
Hey, sometimes you get a little goofy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun, right, Cameraman?
Okay. Second off, this post is really fun.
It really is, but I just want to tell you that I think that without some significant effort, the display is going to look like a piece of crap.
It's not going to look like a piece of crap because it's going to be covered in all of our beautiful product. First off,
but we're going to paint it, right?
That is the plan. So clean. I think
we need a lot of bleach.
Lots of bleach. Lots of cleaning it.
That stain in the right-hand corner really makes me disturbed.
Anyway. Basically, I'm showing these pictures of this like retail rack. There was a local going out of business store, and the timing was great because me and Lawrence were sitting down and really working on the Gen Con booth and what we want to do for the Gen Con booth, since we have a 20 by 20 this year. This is going to look great.
It is going to look great. We're going to paint it up black and really make it look nice and use a lot of bleach, especially on that right-hand corner, cameraman.
I mean, it'll be clean. Okay, look, the paint will happen if it happens, but it will be clean.
What do you mean the paint will happen if it happens?
Look, I don't want to stress anyone out too much.
Lawrence already told me he's painting it.
I know, and that Lawrence is the one that I don't want him to be stressed out about.
Listen, don't be protecting your brother.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm just saying if it happens, it happens. If not, it's still going to look
He was
great.
A Green Beret, for Pete's sake.
I know.
He is incredible.
But there's other things we need to focus on.
Look at Alexander there, too.
I know.
Marvelous Alex.
He's so cute
in
this picture.
Yes,
he's just like, he's so small compared to Lawrence.
Well, Lawrence is huge compared to most.
Yeah. So.
Diane said that. Sorry, Miss Goo, Dianea. Yes, Dianea said that last night to me. We were snuggling.
Oh, oh my God.
No, we were not doing anything. Just we were snuggling. You know, this is what you do with someone you love once in a while. So we were snuggling and getting ready to go to sleep. And she said, you really are huge. I said, no, I'm not. I'm big. There are huge. Huge is DeMarcus Cousins, who I met in Reno, which most people in the chat probably don't know who that is.
Oh,
If you know who DeMarcus Cousins is, he is a basketball player. He's a 7-foot tall human being. His shoulders are as wide as Cameramandy and me standing next to each other. And his hand, I shook his hand, and I felt like I was a child shaking his hand. That is huge.
Okay. Okay, I don't want to talk about snuggling anymore. Okay.
Cameramandy!
Okay, now this is the coolest freaking thing. So, well, what's not cool is that you have been locked out of your Facebook account.
Oh, it's the worst.
So,
It's the
and
worst.
basically, it's not that he's been hacked; it's that his authenticator is not working, and so he's having a difficult time. Obviously,
Somehow Google Authenticator no longer has my Facebook profile in it. And we can't update the authenticator without being able to log into the Facebook page. And we can't log into the Facebook page without the authenticator. It's like Inception, Cameramandy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a loop. I'm stuck in the loop.
So we're trying to.
No, I'm starting a new Alphinius account. I'm done. I'm freaking
Okay,
done.
can you at least let Adam look at it before you?
I will.
Okay.
Adam is marvelous. Hopefully
Yes.
he can help me.
Okay. Anyway, so because he's been locked out. Now, I know it's confusing because Alphinius is still posting in the den. But we had created a long time ago an Alphinius Goo Facebook page.
A persona.
Yeah, the same way that we have. This is before we did the new profile.
Well, people need to know this. So a persona is something that Facebook used to want to require you to do if you were not using your real name, right? So if you were going to be anything besides your real name, you had to create a persona. Otherwise, they threatened you that they would destroy your account and ban you if you were not, legitimately you.
Which is
Now-
annoying because some people don't want to put their real stuff out on the internet.
You think, Cameramandy,
Yeah,
right?
so-
And so they changed this policy because I think they got enough backlash, right? I'm ready to backlash them right out of their group and move everything to Discord.
Yeah,
Frankly.
because part of the problem is that Alphinius they're like, send us your ID. And
8 times now.
And so, but it's like,
And the AI won't recognize the ID as Alphinius. Of course it won't, because I'm not Alphinius on my ID. Goodness gracious.
yeah,
Cameramandy, my blood pressure.
I know. It's okay. So anyway, so if you are messaging Alphinius, which I know there are still people.
They
who
are, because I'm getting the emails.
Yeah, and
I get the email notifications. You've been messaged.
So
Blah,
do
blah,
I.
blah. Thank you, Facebook. You most helpful.
You okay?
No.
I don't understand. Okay, we need to talk about this afterwards. Okay, all that to say, because of this,
I hope the chat is enjoying this. This is the worst. Oh, look at this.
Joseph
Yes, Joseph McComb.
has started this amazing
It is amazing.
choose your own adventure. Like amazing choose your own adventure. And like look at this. They're like this just tickled me. It's a Facebook. It's a Facebook who's giving clues.
You
On where's
really,
Alphinius.
if you haven't read this in the chat, go back, look up Joseph McComb.
No. Here's what I've done. I did something for this. Because I want people to be able to really easily go back and participate in this because it's audience participation.
Yeah, you get to vote.
Yeah. So what I have done here is, so if you go to Gooey Game Master's Den of Enlightenment, and all you have to do is scroll down to this post that I
And it's
pinned.
pinned.
And if you open this up, I'm putting all the links to like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and then the part 4 poll. And I'll keep this updated so that way anyone can join in, read all the old posts, and then continue on so they can see the full story.
But look, it is the evil Facebook.
I know, isn't that the funniest thing? I died. I am a sucker for dad jokes, and this is like the
Yeah,
best one I've ever seen.
That's a dad joke.
Anyway, all that to say,
And we had nothing to do with it. He just started doing it out of the blue.
and it's really good. Like one of these things has like this one has like a map. Look at this. Hold on, it takes a second to load. Look at this. So you can choose to go talk to Alfabio. I'm in there, but I'm not a choice. Or like you can go talk.
Yeah,
to
you didn't get to
Mickey
choose to talk to Cameramandy.
This is so innovative and so creative.
Yeah, you have to look, and
Yeah.
it's worth the time. It's very short. He didn't, he's not writing, novels. He's just really doing a great job.
And like there's polls here, so you can go vote on like which. So like I I think most people want to go talk to Alphinius.
Everyone voted. I did not vote for that.
Oh, you said I'm up for singing.
I did, but I voted. I voted
elsewhere.
elsewhere. I think maybe I did join the live. Maybe I did do the libations. I can't remember.
Anyway, I'm obsessed with this. I think it is amazing. And so yeah, please, all you have to do is go to our Facebook group and then find that featured post, and it has.
Can I just gush again about our amazing Facebook people?
I put it in our newsletter yesterday. I literally put it in our newsletter. Like, you have got to join the Gooey Game Masters Son of Enlightenment.
Well, everyone in this chat almost is probably there, but I just want to tell you, I can't tell you. You know, I'm a creative person. I am a creative director. This is my career. Advertising, marketing, doing all of this stuff. And we have such an amazing creative group of people in our den. And it goes all the way to people who just find these magnificent places and put them up. Find, like Michelle with her dress and the dress that showed up, right?
Oh, I have that one.
The damn snail. I mean, Chet Minton. I mean, David and Rick. And I mean, it just goes on. Belinda. It just goes on and on and on with all these wonderful posts. And I am inspired daily. And if you don't spend time in the den, you know, Todd puts up all his stuff, right? We got Paul. I mean, all those guys that just joined us. Am I gushing too much?
No, I think it's good.
I mean, it is. You all are magnificent.
David put up this. Oh, I see what you're doing. Look what Patrick just did.
Patrick is spamming.
Yeah, this is how you get on Goo Morning, Zyathé. Okay. I have a secret about Patrick.
It does work really well.
I have a secret about Patrick that I'm going to reveal at the end of the show.
One snail to rule them all.
Isn't that hilarious?
It's so good.
Also, you talked about Rick.
So good.
And I pulled this. Rick got his Mornwood shirt in.
Oh, that's Rick. Yes.
Looking so good.
And Chet, that artwork. Mwah.
Yes. Okay. Oh, also before I move on, I'm going to close you out for a second, Patrick. I'm sure he's just going to. I want to make sure everyone who's not going to Gen Con has seen the GooeyCon online schedule. Like, they're getting to the point where
we're getting sold out.
Yeah, they're like Menace in the Mist only has one slot left, and that's a track. So that's like a 2-part track that I believe actually Rick is running, and then Blood for the Con only has like 3 slots left, and that's also a track. But yeah, some of these.
Blood for the Con is a great tale.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is a great tale.
So yeah, please. It is a paid thing. It's $25, and you can play as much. So like, if you spend $25, you can do all 3 tracks for Blood for the Con, or however many you want to.
Yes, but all that money is going to our game masters.
Yes, it is 100% to pay for the EOs and GMs who are running this. So,
cheers to our game masters. Cheers to our EOs. Thank you.
I see that David has messaged me. Let's see what he had to say. Oh, Salt the Snail. Okay.
Well done, David.
Anyway, all that to say. We have a few more social media.
Hey, I can't talk to our friends. My friends Geeky has messaged me. Rick has messaged me. I mean, I have many messages. Adam and all kinds of these messages. I can't even answer them.
I'm sorry. We'll get it fixed.
Look, I'm getting red in the face.
I know. Okay, so Michelle, this is the dress that you talked about that Michelle posted.
Isn't that cool?
I know. I do want to get it.
Yes. If you get it, you got to wear it at Gen.
I doubt that
you didn't just fart, did you, cameraman? What was that weird sound?
Yeah, I did. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm glad you're across the room.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so Andy posted this.
Oh, yeah. So you know we already did these special poker chips one time, right? Didn't we do little poker chips a long time ago?
Harry did one that had like a coin that had Alphinius, but I don't think we've ever done. Oh, we have. Okay,
yeah.
So for Goo Done
It.
Or not
yes.
Goo Done It. For the Great Gooey Gamble.
Yeah, the gamble. Yes.
Yeah. We do have, and you can get those if you go to the casino night at Gen Con. But anyway, excellent. And maybe one day we will do an upgraded deck Perilous for 2D. We just have to get it a bit more prominent, I think, before we're able to do that.
Well, the thing is, it is a great deck, Cameramendi. And you know, people don't even know. I talked to Howard, who's my dear friend, and from like high school, and we played Dungeons and Dragons together in high school. I mean, literally, that was us. And all the way to now, and he is a math wizard. I mean, like, seriously a math wizard, a PhD in math from the University of California at Berkeley, and teaches math now at the University of I know I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, so we went through math and talked about what does it mean to have 5 face cards instead of 3, and what does it mean to have wild cards more involved? And so when I was doing the math for Fools Down, just to try to make sure we didn't have anything wrong, because you get 5 of a kind and all of this kind of stuff. And he was so helpful. and he actually, really liked the idea of the deck and the number of cards and all of the stuff that we did from a math perspective. So it's cool. I mean, the deck of perilous fortuity was not just, hey, let's make a deck of cards, right? It's really got some thought behind it. So, and who doesn't love having the Fool card, Cameramendi? Indeed.
Okay. I think I have a couple more things. Robert, who's going to be writing games for us.
No, Robert, listen, Cameramendi, switch to yourself real quick, and you can talk about this, because I got to blow my nose.
Okay. Mute you. Okay. I did, indeed. I just can't do it on the spot.
Okay, unmute.
Okay, there we go. You're better.
Now go.
You talk.
No, you give it a go. Everyone wants to hear you talk right now.
No, they don't.
Tell about this. This is magnificent. You can put videos.
I know. Okay, his game room is just extraordinary. And like the best part about it is that all the Gooey Cube stuff is laid out on the table. So it's like
no, but I mean the dragon head
and the great table.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of great tables, Wit and Nat just got their Wormwood table that they ordered like 2 years ago, and it looks so good in their game room.
Yes, magnificent. And that's one of those double deckers that I've talked about, Cameramendi, right? You can take off the top, you can play on the top, then take off the top and put on the bottom, and it's very, very cool.
Yeah. I think that
nice floor in that room, by the way,
I have
too.
A couple last things. There's you with your Mornwood shirt.
Yes.
These Mornwood shirts are currently available on our website.
Oh, it's a commercial.
They're only being sold through 2024. They literally say 2024 on them. So,
yeah, that's true. I guess we'll have to do the Mornwood 2025, or are we just never going to do them again? It's like a limited edition.
I think we should just maybe do the limited edition. I don't know. So
well, that would be a shame, because the
art is so good. I know that's the only problem. I don't know. We'll see what's up. So, Rick says I'm wearing the shirt right now and love the look and feel. So yeah, I'm very excited. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it, except for your Terror and Genzacon stuff. So do you want to talk a little bit about Terror and Genzacon?
So it's coming together really, really well, Cameramendi. So I am going to put some spoilers out. All right. So it's okay. Is it okay if I do that? I mean, in the chat, if you think you might play this in the future, you're either going to have to be really good and not metagame, or you should, turn it off, which I wouldn't do. I'd definitely just listen and then be good when my game master ran it. So, as we all know, the first time the Thule ever came to be brought forth in an official adventure by Gooey Cube, was in the first Genzacon module, which is Shadows in Genzacon. And of course, it was magnificently successful. Many, many people have loved it. It was my first attempt ever, Cameramendi, of actually writing a murder mystery type of game. And I do think, based on the feedback that we've gotten, that people really enjoyed it. And now you got to prep, right? Because you have alternatives. It's kind of like Clue. You get to choose who's the bad guys. You don't have to run with who we suggest as the bad guys. It's got all kinds of stuff. Anyway, the Thule show up for the first time in Shadows in Genzacon. Well, then there's an interlude, which is a different thing. Because again, as you think about campaigns, they don't always have to run really linear, right? They can have tangents and things like that all ultimately at the end come together. Because in Darkness in Genzacon, which is the second chapter, there really is nothing to do with the Thule and this overarching plot that was sort of uncovered. There is this discovery of how the Oculix, which are these magnificent creatures in the world of Zyathé, came to be. And they were actually created as a war machine by the Ethereans. So the Oculix has this wonderful, wonderful story, and the players find out about that. And obviously there might be more of the Oculix coming in the future of our Genzacon modules. But in Terror in Genzacon, the Thule come forth in all their glory. So there is a Thule, and her name is Gluusha. And she is the leader of a group of Thule that are on a secret mission from the Rav Gish hive. And their secret mission is to bring forth Netrok. And Netrok in the common language is Netherfire. And Netherfire has been theorized about for a long time, but has never been able to really be harnessed in the way that they believe that Thul Gluusha and her cohorts believe is going to be able to be brought forth. So they have found a secret lair, and that secret lair is beneath the gloom port, and their goal is to set off a netherfire explosion to either severely damage or even destroy Genzacon Citadel. And then the Grimindun dwarves, who hate any of the people who might even be remotely associated with the Ithurns, which of course all of the descendants of the Ithurns live in Darkenhaven and all of that stuff, they can attack the Gloom-port. But truly, even the Grimindun dwarves are being deceived, because if the netherfire happens the way they expect it's going to happen, Darkenhaven will fall from the surface above into the Gloom-port as the cavern collapses. So this truly is an apocalyptic type event that the players are going to try to stop. And of course, if they don't stop it, boy, do you got an interesting thing. Don't buy the city boxes, because they won't work for you anymore.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
But this, what's going on with this cover, and I made, originally when I did this, it was pretty gross, and it is aggressive, I cannot deny. This is called the ritual of devouring, the rite of devouring, where there is a terrifying thing that happens, obviously, to the body, but they also actually literally consume the soul, and it reinvigorates the Thul, and it is a terrifying ritual, and it is one of the things that make the Thul such horrific opponents. And after voting in the den, this thing overwhelmingly was voted to be the cover. So there is the cover. And this was done by Igor long ago. Magnificent. All right, keep going.
A couple things.
Yes. Or is there any questions in the chat before we go forward?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, you don't think so?
Except there's a few comments.
Okay. Yeah. Let's.
We need a YouTube channel dedicated to correct pronunciation of words and names from Zyathé.
Always remember where there is an apostrophe, and most of the time the apostrophe should only appear between vowels. So Thul, right, is the long pronunciation of it, the correct pronunciation, though many times people will shorten it, just say Thul, right? So, but if you have an apostrophe between two vowels, there's a short little pause. Ma'andi, right?
Camera or Mera Ma'andi.
Mera Ma'andi.
Yeah.
Right? Just a little bit of a schnick like that, right?
And he says, what about apostrophes at the end of the name?
Well, that doesn't happen typically.
Like finesse in dark.
This was before I really started thinking about language. So there's a few mistakes. Just ignore it.
Don't call them mistakes. Call them personal touches.
Personal touches. Andy is my nemesis in finding all the things that I did wrong.
If the players fail, does Darkenhaven get renamed to Brokenhaven?
Very good dad joke.
Yes.
Brokenhaven. Yes. All right. So I want to talk about this. So the Grimindun dwarves were cursed by the Ithurns before the Woe of Ruin because they wanted to leave the Ithurnic civilization. These curses twisted their bodies, twisted their minds, and affect their progeny even to this day, which makes the Grimindun really scary, because there's a huge number of these Grimindun dwarves living down there that hate the surface dwellers and hate anything that is associated with the Ithurnic civilization, because they ruined them. This curse actually twisted their minds so that they are paranoid. They are very, very mistrustful, right? Their clans battle amongst themselves for leadership. It is not healthy, right? It is not good. And also twisted their faces, their bodies, all of this stuff, and made them a very, very different personage. So literally they border on the verge of madness. They are calculating, but they are still irrational in many circumstances. Well, not every Grimindun dwarf is affected as such. And some of them look at their society and what they're doing and think this is really, really wrong. Well, this is Frothgra. And Frothgra is an operative, a spy, who spies on the Grimindun dwarves. And Frothga is actually the one who discovers the plot. And it has been a closely guarded, closely held secret for months. But only recently has she figured it out, or found it out, and will bring forth that information to our marvelous players as part of meeting Ash and, yes, and Janara and our other marvelous Gen Con personages, along with Pedro Wezacost. So the players get brought to the Citadel. There are discussions again about, hey, you've done a great job for us in the past. This one is the worst of them all. Please help us, blah, blah, blah. We have other groups that are working to try to find out where this thing is placed, because they think it's imminent based on Frothka's information. It's imminent, this cataclysm. And so the players actually have a bit of a ticking clock that's going to go on in Terror and Genzacon as they attempt to come to. Is this the last one of them?
Yeah.
Yes, so this is an image of the climactic battle, which was done by Marvelous Edvard. And there are 2 captives in the room, which make it a little more difficult to not just fireball the whole damn thing, right?
Especially because one of them
is Zyathé Goo. Yes.
Yeah.
Daughter.
An official family member of the Goo has been revealed.
Yes, Zyathé Goo.
Probably Mara Andy's best friend. So
And, very good friends. And in fact, they want to keep it a secret from Alphinius because they are very worried that he will get angry and not be stealthy enough. And the worry that will happen is if they're not stealthy, that the Thule will advance their timeline. And so this is why stealth is so important. You got to get in there and not have them set it off early, if that makes sense, right? So it's really kind of it's a good plot. I mean, it's good, right? And so there you see the Netherstone and the 2 captives, Dirthog, Dirtbiter, and Zyathé Goo, and of course the Thule and their minions, and of course they've got these Faagich parasites that are flying around. I mean, this is going to be a good finish. And it's for higher level characters. All of you who wanted to see something that might work for 11th, 12th levels, this will work for that. Now you better play it tough. Yes, you better play it tough. But man, I mean, cameraman, there's a lot going on here. You agree with me? This is pretty good.
It's so good. Porthala says, this has to be solved as Lord Escargot cannot have his future city damaged. Time to get these adventurers moving.
Yeah, they need to get off their asses, cameraman.
Harry's asking, is there art for Zyathé Goo? I actually have a piece of art that would work
So
very
there
well.
is, so literally, I just got the portraits for Dirthog and for Zyathé from Edvard, who did this marvelous image as well.
Right.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of cool stuff because they got to go through the sewers, Cameramendi. So we've got
love wading through the sewers.
So we've got this magnificent. Wait till you see the arts, because I haven't shown them all by any stretch of the imagination. So there's these wonderful sewer artworks of the different creatures that are coming from the sewers. We got 3 different artists working on it. Maybe 4. Anyway, so we've got all this stuff. There's clues. They go in there with Ja'Aquissa, and I want to do more of this. Can we do more of this next week? Would people be interested in that if I showed more artworks and did more of that kind of stuff next week?
Next week we actually have something very special planned.
Oh, that's true.
Because it's the
150th. Well, we can still do this.
And I will tell you what that thing is.
Just do it. Overhang the market.
I'm going to say it right now. Patrick is coming down, and Lawrence is going to come in, and we're going to do another Wheel of Shenanigans. The amazing game.
And you get to win
complete crap.
stuff. It's a crap game.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay.
And people get to win prizes. Right?
I actually have some questions.
Don't we need to advertise that a little more?
Yeah, we will, but
we only have a week. You know what? Let's spend some money on Facebook and advertise, because I need to do the Dungeon Game I can't
Show.
message anybody. I can't tell anybody about it. This is so damn frustrating.
We'll talk about
and you're
that.
all gonna have to refriend me, when I have the new Alphinius.
Okay, I have 2.
And all my history, Cameramendi, all my beautiful pictures, all the things that I've posted through the years, all the people that
Don't
people
give
have
up
posted
yet.
to me.
We still have options. Give me a second first, because we also have 2.
I am sentimental. This is like hard. I mean, really, I'm really worried.
I know you are, but let's
All right.
exploit all of our options before we go to
Google and
Okay.
Facebook.
All I have to say though, I have
All
2
right, I'm
questions
okay.
from the chat,
Go chat.
and then also before they get buried, let me just read them off. I'm gonna read off the 2 questions, and then I'm gonna do the hashtag,
All right, do it.
because this is the last week you can enter for the map.
Oh yeah, we got to do that too.
So, is the curse on the Gloomingdon dwarves related to the twisted bones disease afflicting Lena and Stoof in the Blue Veil Troop?
Wow.
And that's a good question. And then my other question from Josh is, how do you build tension for players at higher levels? And now please put in hashtag map, and that will enter you to win.
This is the last entry.
Yes, the giant Darkenhaven map. So those are the 2 questions.
All right. So first and foremost, it is not, but there is lore behind the Twisted Bones disease that I do want to bring out in the future. When we do the cyclopedia, what did we decide we were going to call it? It wasn't Homidica. It was the Cyclopedia of the Races. We had a different name for it. Can't remember. Do you remember? I can't remember. Anyway, so when we do that, we're going to put some diseases in there, and one of them is this. But it is not related to the Grimminden dwarves because Stuf and Lena are not Grimminden dwarves. So, but that's a great question. And what I am excited about is to bring forth the lore of the Grimminden dwarves, and it is perhaps in the future that the players will have a chance to help save them, which I think is marvelous. We will see, but I can't imagine not going into the Grimminden eventually. It is a magnificent and frightening locality. All right, now this second question. I want to tell you this, and I want you to hear this from the bottom of my heart, because one of the reasons I prefer lower levels is because you start getting to those 10th, 11th, 12th levels, 13th, beyond, right? These characters become so godlike, and certainly if they've been playing for a long time, they're very skilled, all right? So I do all kinds of things to nerf them, all right? So for example, when you get, if you get it, when you get Terror and Genzacon and going through the sewers, there's an optional mechanic for you to bring in there to make it tougher for them to fight in the sewers. If they don't make certain saving throws because of the gushy stuff that's on the floor, it's difficult terrain, they can fall into the muck, they can get the sickened condition, they can even get the poisoned condition, right? And this begins to nerf their abilities in certain circumstances, in certain situations, their initiative rolls, their opportunities to hit, right? All of these things are affected, and you can extend it even more. And again, I tend to be, when I'm crafting modules, and all of us at Gooey Cube tend to be this, we tend to want to put more permission in your hands as a game master, because there is a movement, or not a movement, this is old, and frankly, I think it's old school. I think you should put it away. It's one of the old school things I think you should put away. There is a movement out there, or thoughts out there, that you need to do raw, the rules as written. So you're running a module, and the monsters are this, and that's going to be the way it is. Well, the fact of the matter is that just because a module or a scenario says it's for level 6 characters, cannot take into account how much treasure and magical items you give away to your players. It cannot take into account if you're one of those cool dungeon masters who lets people add to their stats more than just rolling normally. All of this stuff affects the math, right? This is the key. It affects the math. So if you are a generous dungeon master, a game master, and you're giving away more stuff, if you've allowed them to have more powerful characters from the beginning, which is my bent, I want them to be powerful from the beginning, right? If you've done that and you have skilled players, these 6th level players are really good. Does that make sense? Now, if you have a fairly new group that hasn't been playing for very long, and you're kind of a tightwad with magical items, and you did sort of roll normally, right, which makes the stats less potent, which makes the characters less potent, all of that stuff, that 6th level spread between what kind of monsters and opponents make it difficult gets broad. I know you can see this. And so this is why at Gooey Cube, we push to have you take this into account. This is why we do weaker party, advanced party, make it tough, make it tougher. And even still, in the Ghost Stone, right? We had parties that Nama Stacy pointed out to us that it wasn't tough enough, right, Camera Mandy, right?
Okay.
So,
ironically, I was about to talk about Nama Stacy.
Oh, she's so wonderful.
I know she
But anyway,
is.
but let me just finish.
You finish your thing, and then I'm going to finish on
So-
what it was a marvelous toast from Wonderful Stacy.
So what I want to tell you in terms of challenging higher level players, first of all, figure out ways to nerf them. They won't like it. It's okay. They can handle it, right? Figure out methods to have their hits, right? To have their initiatives, things that affect the math. Figure out ways to cause them to not have to maybe be able to get all of their abilities, figure out how to nerf their abilities. But beyond that, play monsters smart. Play monsters smart. Do not be afraid. At these high levels, hit them hard. Let them be hit hard. I promise you, most of the time, even though you're hitting them hard, they're going to come up with interesting ideas, cool solutions, all kinds of stuff while they're being hit hard. Don't be afraid, because a lot of us do fear TPKs. We do, and I understand that completely. But I'm going to tell you straight up, even in the situation of a TPK, there are things you can do to add to the game, to bring them back in most interesting fashions. I can talk about that later. In fact, we should do this one of these days, Cameron. This would be, I think people would love this. I think I'd love to tell the story of...
Stacey says make the players limp away with one HP.
Make the players what?
Limp away with one
yes,
HP.
If you can get it to that, and they really earned it, right? You didn't fake it. They really earned it. Mwah. Because they walk away. They'll
talk about it.
They walk away with so much, wow, we did it, right?
One time I almost,
Yes. Okay, did I at least give some semblance of answer to that question? All right.
Now, talking about monsters. I'm sorry, this is something that Stacey posted. That just tickled my funny bone.
Yes.
Talking about epic enemies and how to defeat them.
Yes, snail attack. Yes, it's actually, I just want to point out, this has been going on for time immemorial. The snails have been doing terrible things to humans.
Stacey says the war against the snail has been raging for centuries. I'm sorry. Okay, Stacey. Genuinely speaking. Okay, this is a perfect way to end the show.
It is.
Thank you, Stacey. We love you, and you were hilarious. Okay.
Yes, Thank you to all. I mean, I truly believe we have one of the nicest and the most interesting groups in the Dungeons and Dragons space because of all of you. It's just magnificent, and it's fun, and everybody has a good time, and there's so many lurkers. There's so many people who message me and say, I'm a lurker, but I love the den. It's wonderful. Yeah. So.
Okay.
All right, Cameron, put yourself on there, Cameron. Maybe we can end the show with you and me together.
Okay.
All right, did everybody get their hashtags in there?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
All
right, my friends, next week, the 150th anniversary of Goo Morning Zyathé. 150th episode.
It's a crazy good
I guess I shouldn't have said anniversary, the 150th anniversary, whatever that is.
Yes.
And a Wheel of Shenanigans.
The Wheel of Shenanigans with Patrick and Lauren.
And prizes.
Prizes.
Tell your friends. Invite some people. I can't invite anyone to Goo Morning Zyathé right now. So if people don't tell people about it, only, nobody's going to get the message. I mean, we're going to put it up in Facebook, and every time you put anything that says Goo Morning, Twitch, a time, right? If it's not happening on Facebook, if it's happening on some other platform, they nerf you like you were a high-level character, which I hate, Cameramandy. Hate it.
We'll do some advertising. It'll be great. All right.
All right, my friends. We are excited. Thank you for joining us on this marvelous morning. Hope it was a wonderful time for you. Next week, we'll show a little more stuff about Terror and Genzacon if Cameron Mendy gives me a chance. If not, we'll do the whole Wheel of Shenanigans the whole time. We'll do it the week after.
Maybe not, because I think the week after is actually Gen Con.
Oh, it is Gen Con. We have to do something from Gen Con, don't we?
No. I mean, we'll see. But we're going to be doing the Dungeon Game Show on Friday, and that will be aired live.
So we have to do a Goo Morning
Zyathé. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Okay, we have one episode after.
Yes, so we can do it then too. Because I want to show some more images. I want to honestly, I think I want to do more of this with our tales, because I think people actually like it. And even though it gives away some spoilers, I think it's fun to talk about it a little bit.
I think it gives like imagination juice.
Oh, absolutely. Imagination juice.
Imagination juice.
We need to bottle that.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta go. I have a thing I have to go.
Yes, a wedding. Yes, a Wedding Cube. Which I am going to as well.
Low key.
I hope there's good food, Cameramandy.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Lawrence has been cooking a brisket since 1 a.m. I know, it's going to be good.
I have had Lawrence's brisket.
It is delicious.
Yes, very, very good. Yeah. All right, my friends. Thank you. We're next week giving away the map too, right? So we'll draw for the map next week. So we'll draw for the map. Wheel of Shenanigans, a bunch of goofballs sitting around our offices and sitting here. It'll be a lot of fun. Cameramandy, doing whatever Cameramandy does. We'll have a great time. May all your adventures be sticky, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.